Hey guys, Aaron Dorr here with a major Second Amendment update. We have all of us been waiting for President Trump to begin dismantling the damage that Joe Biden did to our gun rights, and I'm very pleased to tell all of you that effort is officially underway. Late last night, President Trump signed a 2.5-page long executive order requiring the Department of Justice to do a review in just the next 30 days and identify everything that Joe Biden did that's harmful to our Second Amendment freedoms. As you're about to hear, this is not just a tweet. It's not just a throwaway sentimental statement. This is the most detailed statement we have ever seen from the federal government, any element of the federal government, when it comes to our gun rights. And what it tells us is that Trump and Trump's people understand the damage that Biden did was not just in the Congress. It was not just in the courts, not just the bureaucracies. It was all of it. And they have to go in there and undo all of that damage and dig it out. You're going to love this statement. If you've enjoyed watching President Trump close the border, deport violent foreign nationals, and gut DEI policies, you're really going to love this. So I'm going to break down these 8 points and give them to you guys one at a time so you know exactly what is taking place right now at the federal level in the fight for gun rights. Again, this is an order to the Department of Justice telling them to complete this review in the next 30 days or less. 30 days or less. Number one, Trump's order begins by describing our gun rights as a, quote, indispensable safeguard of security and liberty. And he restates that our Second Amendment rights shall not be infringed. So we went from a president who wanted to destroy the Second Amendment to a president who says these are indispensable safeguards of security and liberty. I told you guys you were going to love this statement. From there, number two, Trump's order commands the Attorney General to examine, quote, all current federal orders, regulations, plans, and international agreements that interfere with the Second Amendment that were issued from January of 2021 to January of 2025. So everything that Joe Biden could have done. International agreements, for example, would include Joe Biden making America a signatory to the United Nations Small Arms Treaty. That's one of many things that are going to be covered under this review. Number three, Trump's order requires an examination of all actions taken by the White House regarding gun control between January of 2021 and January of 2025. This specifically will include all of the executive orders that Joe Biden signed. And there are so many of them, not the least of which is the making a pistol brace subject to the National Firearms Act, or importation bans on ammo, or redefining what a firearms dealer is. The list is very long, and all of that now is in the crosshairs, pardon the pun, of President Trump, who's going to review all of these. Number four, Trump has ordered a complete review of all ATF actions taken from January 2021 through January 2025 pertaining to firearms and to dealers. Many of you have heard about this. There was a absolute blitz from the ATF trying to close down as many FFLs as they possibly could. That's going to be under review, but not just that. Also, their official actions, their raids. So when they raided the airport manager's home in northern Arkansas recently in a 5 a.m. raid, this is a white-collar professional who had some paperwork issues. They break down his front door. They scare him. He grabs a gun to defend his family, and he gets shot in the chest and died. All of that stuff will now be subject to review from the new Department of Justice. Number five, Trump's order will include a review of all agencies' plans regarding, quote, so-called enhanced regulatory enforcement policies. What does that include? Well, the ATF made it their mission to close down as many dealers as they possibly could. And so what they did was said any paperwork violations, no matter how small, no matter how many decades you've been in business, no matter how small your operation is, if you have one form out of place, we're going to yank your dealership, your FFL, your ability to sell firearms. And they did. They closed down a tremendous number of gun shops over those 4 years. All of that is now subject to review. Number six, Trump has ordered a review of all reports issued from the Office of Gun Violence Prevention. This was a bogus office opened up by Joe Biden. It's already been closed by President Trump, but Trump knows that all of the reports, and a heavy sarcasm intended there, all of the white papers, again, heavy sarcasm, that were generated from that office are going to be used by Congress and state capitals to try to advance a gun control agenda. He's going to review all of that and hopefully, we believe, nuke all of that when the report is given back to him. Number 7, and this is so big, it's hard to even possibly understand for any of us the weight of this. Number 7, Trump has ordered the DOJ to review all ongoing federal litigation that affects or could affect in any way the ability of Americans to exercise their Second Amendment rights. That's a direct quote. It's a review of all federal litigation in the courts right now that deal with the Second Amendment. There is no way to tabulate the number of cases that could possibly be going on right now. It will certainly be in the hundreds of cases. For example, take Missouri. Second Amendment Preservation Act. It has been struck down by the courts because of a DOJ lawsuit that is now pending an appeal to the United States Supreme Court. If the new DOJ comes out via the Attorney General's office and tells the Supreme Court, we no longer oppose Missouri's SAPA law, and we urge you to take this case up to then uphold SAPA law, I mean, the impact on that is it's incomprehensible. It's a massive, massive win for gun owners just to have a review of all of this ongoing federal litigation. And finally, number 8, Trump's order includes a review of all agency classifications of firearms and ammunition. As you probably know, the ATF has reclassified frames and receivers and pistol braces. All of this stuff will now be reviewed by the Department of Justice and then giving President Trump a chance to undo all the damage. Those are the top 8 points. The question we're getting a lot over the last 12 hours is what happens next and how fast will it happen? Well, to begin with, this review will be done in 30 days from yesterday. This is going to happen very, very quickly. Once Trump has all the ammo he needs, again, pardon the pun, once he can just see at a glance all the steps that Biden took by executive action to attack our gun rights, he can simply sign orders one after the next to roll all of that crap off the books. That's what will likely happen next, amongst many other things. It could be a complete reversal of everything that Joe Biden did. Now, we've had some objections, interestingly enough, on Twitter over the last 12 to 24 hours now about this. And I'm going to interact with some of these because some of these may be in good faith and some may be just folks who like to scoff behind their keyboard. But regardless, here's some of the things that we've heard in the last couple of hours now. Number 1, Trump should have done this all sooner. Okay. Would I enjoy seeing Trump have this done on day one? Yeah, sure. Who wouldn't? But you know what? It's been weeks, not years. It's been weeks. And during that time, he had to first secure our country, close the border, and begin to deport thousands, tens of thousands of violent foreign nationals. Give the guy a little bit of time to get the basics done. That's our answer to that. Number 2, this is just a review, people have said. This is not tangible. That's ridiculous. You have to understand the scope of the problem in order to begin to undo the damage. That's what this order will do. It will create the review that Trump's team can then look at and say, okay, Mr. President, here's the 25 things that we believe you have to undo from the Biden White House. Or here's the 125 things. He can't do it if he doesn't know what it is in the first place. The review is a necessary first step to letting President Trump fix it. Number 3, we've heard, well, Pam Bondi is anti-gun and she's going to tank this review. Okay. Pam Bondi, nobody has been louder than the American Firearms Association and all of our state organizations across the country in highlighting Pam Bondi's attacks on the Second Amendment. We knew about that since before she was the nominee. We made it very clear in Congress that she was not good in our gun rights. But let's get a couple things straight. When Pam Bondi was the attorney general in Florida supporting red flag laws and everything else, she was doing it at the behest of her boss, Rick Scott. Rick Scott has always been terrible when it comes to gun rights, and so naturally he had his attorney general back his play. But Pam Bondi doesn't work for Rick Scott anymore. She works for Donald J. Trump. And President Trump is not the same President Trump that he was his first 4 years in office. So Pam Bondi's personal opinions when it comes to gun control, whatever those may be, are not going to be the relevant factor. It will be what President Trump wants to have in this report. So that's the answer to that. And finally, President Trump should have already abolished the ATF, already repealed the National Firearms Act. This is all smoke and mirrors. That's absolutely absurd. President Trump can do certain things through executive orders. That's what this order is all about. When it comes to something like repealing current federal law, as in the case of the National Firearms Act, that requires actions from Congress. And again, the American Firearms Association, our state groups, is the organization pushing for these two bills in Congress. We have had them drafted, or filed rather, by Missouri Congressman Eric Burleson. We have been chasing down dozens and dozens of co-sponsors. We're all in on that objective. But Trump can't do that on his own. That requires an action of Congress. So guys, any way you want to cut this, this has been a fantastic first step in the fight to undo the damage that Joe Biden has done during his 4 years in the White House. This review should happen very quickly. He says no more than a month. It could be even done sooner than that. And from there, who knows? We're probably going to see this president grab a club and just destroy the damage that Joe Biden did via executive orders and agencies and all the rest of that crap in the coming weeks. Guys, it's a great time in the fight for gun rights. Much more to come. In the meantime, stay focused. Now's the time to continue to stay on offense. That's what we're doing right now in Congress and in the various state capitals that we're working in. Be involved in the fight. Much more to come. Take care. Hey guys, WIGO is fighting hard to expand Second Amendment freedom to make sure our children's children have a right to keep and bear arms. Get involved in this fight today. Number 1, sign up for text alerts from us. Number 2, follow us on X. And number 3, like and subscribe for more content.